You're not cup level. Bubba Wallace's brutal comment has Corey Heim firing back. He just crossed the finish line. 23 years old, 13th career Cup Series start. The number 67 Toyota in victory lane for the first time in 78 years of NASCAR history. 50,000 people screaming on a United States Navy base in San Diego. His crew going absolutely insane on the radio. Everything he had worked for, ARCA trucks, part-time Cup starts, 3 Truck Series championships, all of it had just paid off in a single afternoon on a military base overlooking San Diego Bay. Corey Heim climbs out of the car, he's still floating, and then his teammate walks over, handshake, congratulations, and then 4 words, enjoy this one. That is it, no context, no follow-up. Just 4 words from a veteran to a 23-year-old kid who just won his first Cup race, and then silence. What did that mean? Was it respect? Was it experience talking? Or was Bubba Wallace planting a seed of doubt inside a kid who hadn't even had time to take off his helmet? Before we get into what those 4 words really cost and what Heim did next, if you're watching NASCAR Track Report, we are about to hit 500 subscribers, and this channel only grows because people like you show up, subscribe, hit like, drop a comment, and share these videos. Your support is what makes breakdowns like this possible. Hit subscribe right now. It genuinely matters. Now back to San Diego. The annual 250 race, the base at Naval Base Coronado, was not just another race on the NASCAR Cup Series calendar. This was the first motorsport event ever held on an active U.S. military base in NASCAR's Premier Series. The circuit, the Qualcomm Circuit, was purpose-built at 3.4 miles and 16 turns, making it the longest circuit on the entire Cup schedule the moment it was confirmed. The event was tied directly to the 250th anniversary of the United States and the U.S. Navy. NASCAR called it a mission. Prime Video averaged 2.28 million viewers across the broadcast. This was supposed to be a pure feel-good moment for the sport, history, patriotism, military pageantry, and 50,000 fans in the stands across race day alone. But the moment that has not stopped being talked about, it did not happen on the track. It happened in the garage, away from the cameras. To understand why those 4 words landed the way they did, you need to understand who Corey Heim actually is and what this race meant for him specifically. Heim is from Marietta, Georgia. He is 23 years old. He entered San Diego having made just 13 Cup Series starts across 2 seasons. He is a part-time driver for 23XI Racing, running only 12 races in the 2026 season before transitioning to a full-time Cup seat in 2027. His best result before San Diego was a 6th-place finish at Bristol in the fall of 2025. He started the San Diego race 13th, fell back to 20th early due to tire issues, and was not considered among the favorites. His own crew chief, Booty Barker, told him before the race, "These are our 2 worst sets of tires, but we'll be fine." Heim trusted that. He went quiet, he waited, and while the field around him burned itself down, he stayed ready. "I don't know if I thought I had a great chance to win," Heim said later. "But with this being a one-off event and a track that no one has ever seen before, I felt like my preparation was pretty good leading up to the event." The race itself detonated in every direction almost immediately. Shane Van Gisbergen, who had started from pole position and was the race favorite, was done before the halfway point. On a lap 32 restart, Austin Hill locked brakes entering the corner, hit Connor Zilisch, and Zilisch bounced directly into Van Gisbergen. A 9-car incident followed, triggering a 9-minute red flag for wall repairs. SVG finished 38th, Zilisch finished 37th, Hill 36th. 3 frontrunners erased in one sequence. The door for 23XI Racing was now wide open. Meanwhile, Bubba Wallace was fighting a completely separate battle. At lap 18, Wallace made a pit stop. 1 lap later, on lap 19, his right front wheel detached on track. The caution flew. NASCAR held Wallace in the pits for 2 full laps as penalty. The entire field passed him. Rear tire changer Adam Hartman and jackman Nathan Ricketts were subsequently suspended for the next 2 Cup races at Sonoma and Chicagoland. Wallace was furious in the moment. Radio audio caught him saying, "F King kidding me" to his team. And yet Wallace came back. He earned the free pass on lap 31, again on lap 33, and worked his way back through the field. For context, in 40 prior road and street course Cup starts, Wallace had recorded just 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s total. Road courses had historically broken him. On this day, fighting a 2-lap penalty on a track type that had never been kind to him, he clawed all the way to 2nd. "It's what if," Wallace said after the race. "Tired of living in that." By the final laps, it was down to 2 23XI Racing drivers, Tyler Reddick and Corey Heim, battling for a Cup Series win. Reddick had led 9 laps in the final stage and was in control. With 3 laps remaining, Heim applied pressure. Reddick slipped in turn 2, Heim moved to the inside, and they went side by side through turns 3 and 4. Reddick tried the crossover move into turn 5, made contact, and pushed Heim toward the wall. The number 67 scraped the barrier but held on. Reddick then suffered a flat left front tire, fell back to 25th place, and his points lead over Denny Hamlin was cut to just 8 points with 9 races left in the regular season. Reddick did not sugarcoat it afterward. "I certainly overdid it and ran him in the wall and initiated the contact, everything, just not the way to race a teammate. We're going down the wrong path right now and need to stop it." He added, "I just apologized. He raced me really clean, he got the lead fair and square, and I just overdid it." And on the other side, Heim had his win, his first, the number 67 in victory lane, 23 Xi Racing's first 1-2 finish in team history with Wallace crossing second. On paper, a perfect Sunday for the organization. But what happened in the next few minutes in that garage is where this story takes a turn nobody expected. Both drivers climbed out of their cars, the crowd was still going, the cameras were moving, and then Bubba Wallace walked over to Corey Heim. Standard moment, handshake, congratulations, and then congrats, enjoy this one, they don't come around too often. Read that again. They don't come around too often, said by a veteran teammate to a kid who just won his first Cup race in his 13th start. On a Navy base in San Diego in front of 50,000 people. There are two ways to hear those words, and both of them deserve to sit on the table without being rushed past. Interpretation 1, this is a veteran being honest. Wins in the Cup Series are rare, they do not come around often. Wallace has 3 of them across a full-time career now spanning 9 seasons. He has lived that reality. He might have simply been giving a 23-year-old the most real advice he could offer: hold on to this feeling because nothing is guaranteed. Interpretation 2, a competitor who came up 1 spot short of a win his own team arguably cost him. A man raw from a pit stop blunder that put him 2 laps down on a track type that has historically beaten him, walked over to the kid who took the victory and told him essentially, don't get used to this. Heim did not fire back publicly in the traditional sense. He did not call Wallace out in a press conference. But he made it clear the comment registered. He admitted it caught his attention, he thought about it afterward. And his response was not silence from indifference, it was the deliberate silence of a man who decided the track would say more than any words could. I was able to stick with him and 5 to go came and it was time to put some pressure on him and see if I could get him to make a mistake, Heim said of Reddick. Sure enough, he did. That composure, that focus, that is the firing back, not words, results. What adds another layer to all of this is the Booty-Barker connection that nobody is saying out loud, but everyone inside the garage already knows. Booty Barker is the crew chief who put Corey Heim in victory lane in San Diego. But before that, Barker led Bubba Wallace to his first 2 career Cup Series wins in 2021 and 2022. Barker was the voice in Wallace's ear for those defining moments of his career. He is now the voice in Heim's ear. And in just 13 Cup starts, Barker has already won with the young driver he is now building. Does Wallace look at that pairing and feel something he would not name publicly? That question does not have a confirmed answer, but it is a legitimate question, and anyone inside 23XI Racing would be fooling themselves to pretend it is not in the room. Wallace did say all the right things publicly. My body language and facial expressions will not show it, but I am really excited for Corey and Booty, getting him back to victory lane, Wallace said. Being a winner in the Cup Series is something that when we get there we all want to achieve, and to be able to do that for him in his 13th start, it's pretty special. He also added, him and I have a really good relationship. He beat me today, so he'll have that bragging right. But he also said this, so many races this year had results with asterisk marks besides them, like the what-ifs. And when it comes to his green race tracking, his internal metric for whether a weekend went cleanly, he reflected afterward. At the end of our weekends, we fill out, was it a green race or was it not? Here's another where it's not, so that's a lot of not green races for us. Public praise, private frustration, and 4 words in between that Heim has not forgot. Here is the part that changes the entire weight of this story. Corey Heim is already confirmed as Bubba Wallace's full-time teammate for the 2027 NASCAR Cup Series season, driving the number 35 Toyota for 23XI Racing. Before San Diego, Wallace had said of Heim, he'll be competitive for sure, he'll be a lot of fun, I'm excited for him. These 2 men are now going to share a garage, a pit lane, a pit wall, and a points battle for an entire season starting in 2027. And the comment, enjoy this one, they don't come around too often, has been planted between them. It has not been addressed publicly by Wallace. Heim has not let it go. What does a team environment look like when one driver said 4 words after a win that the other driver replays in his mind every time he straps in? Bubba Wallace has not publicly addressed that comment directly. The gap between what he said privately in that garage and what he said in front of the cameras has not been explained. And it matters because in 2027, these 2 men will be fighting each other for results, for resources, and for standing inside the same organization. Was this the frustration of a man whose team handed away a winning opportunity on lap 19 with a loose wheel? Was there something unspoken about watching the crew chief who built his career now building someone else's? Was it genuine veteran wisdom delivered clumsily in a moment of raw emotion? None of those questions have clean answers, and that is exactly what makes this story unfinished. Bubba Wallace has not answered for that comment yet, and the only way this story ends is when he does. Drop your take in the comments right now. Was this veteran wisdom or was Bubba Wallace out of line? This is the kind of conversation that deserves real debate, so share this video because the more people see it, the better that debate gets. And if you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.